So the great news is that every single person, no matter what culture, race, religion, gender, doesn't matter, every single person goes through the same 7 stages of development that are intended to blossom us into a whole individual who trusts our value, who trusts what we have to bring in a unique individual way into the world. And I've not met one person in my 29 years of teaching through the School of Self-Mastery, not one person has understood those levels or the 9 nurturing needs, which start out from in the first 8 years of our lives, being introduced or not. And then, believe it or not, these are the same 9 nurturing experiences we want to perpetuate throughout our entire lives. That's how important they are. So as an example, when you are first born, the first energy center at the base of the spine and your limbic brain at the base of the brain, it's called the feeling survival brain. These are the only parts of the nervous system that are turned on. And in the first 18 months, you are intended to receive in a consistent way 3 experiences. Safety. At the moment, we're talking physical safety, a calm, consistent, nurturing environment. Connection. And that doesn't just mean being in the same room with someone. That implies knowing how to energetically open and connect to one another. So we needed mommy and daddy to be able to connect to us energetically. And we needed physical affection. There are all kinds of studies of babies in nurseries who are touched and nurtured versus babies that are not touched. And it's clear the ones who are physically nurtured with affection thrive compared to the other. Well, if you grew up in a household where people just weren't very comfortable with touching, and trust me, it is infinitely more common than we would like to believe. Knowing how to open the heart and connect energetically. Believe it or not, we live on a planet that hasn't really talked about energy and how to open. Just the next time you go to hug someone, pay attention. Do they completely stop breathing when you hug them? I almost guarantee you that is what happens. So pay attention. We go to hug and we're like, and then we separate because we don't feel comfortable to actually connect heart to heart with one another. The proof is in the pudding. So pay attention to these practical ways, because you don't remember in a logical way what was happening in the first 18 months of your life, but the proof of what was laid as a foundation and what became your familiar comfort zone is still in your nervous system. Yeah. So we throughout life need to feel safe, connection, and affection. So those are the first of the 9 nurturing needs. Now, I could go through all the stages and whatever. It would take way too long than what we have. So I'm going to briefly read what you can see on the slide in front of you. In addition to safety, connection, affection, we also need acknowledgement, acceptance, compassion. What did I suggest in the earlier example? When you discover a challenge, accept that you have the challenge, acknowledge that you have the challenge, show up with compassion that this is merely one of your challenges that you're intended to learn and grow through. Breathe into it, begin to nurture it. We needed all of that, starting with our feelings. Allison, you're an example again. Allison, I see that you're feeling this, this, or this. Let's just say it was sadness. When you are 1 to 5 years old, this is all new to you. In addition to hearing, this is a nose, and this is an elbow, and that's a window, this is a feeling. Oh, I'm feeling sad. I am. And if we got acknowledgement, acceptance, and compassion of those feelings consistently, we would learn to land in those feelings, to ground in our bodies, and to feel safe. Of course, my feeling is lovable. When we don't, and they don't know how, they don't even know this is something that they need to be doing, this limbic brain personalizes all of it. Oh, my feeling is not lovable. My feeling is not safe. And we begin to squash and bury any experiences. And so we don't even know what we're not acknowledging anymore if we bury it and put it in the dark. Those are just a few thoughts. If we got all the physical nurturing needs and the emotional nurturing needs, we would then move into stage 3, full tilt 5, 6, 7, 8, and we would need clear guidance, support, and encouragement. Allison, share with me what you're experiencing, what you perceive. Let me teach you about your needs. Of course, your needs are just as well. I've never taught anybody that got any of these conversations in a clear, consistent, nurtured way.
Mm-hmm.
So if these are missing, we end up with fear, shame, and judgment. We defend ourselves, and then we create a mask of who we think we have to be in the world, and I have to be seen this way. And we become addicted to demanding those limitations. And that's why when someone says, breathe in this way, we go, that sounds ridiculous. I don't think I'll be doing that.
Yeah, we fight for our defended selves.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And yet, when we add the nurturing needs, no one in the adult reality discovers any threat whatsoever.
Yeah.
We discover it is so much a relief. It's like light at the end of the tunnel. It's what we've been seeking our whole dang lives, and we don't even know that's what we're seeking because there's so little education about it.
Right, right. It's so true. It's what we all need, and that we don't. There's like we don't learn it. So a couple of the questions we got in advance, one was from Judy Bolner and the other was from Anna Durashaw. Thank you very much, Judy and Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Was about how to help. It gets back what you were just talking about, is how to help our clients see how they are their own biggest limitations, like how they are getting in their own way.
Yep. As long as we say that with great compassion, one of the 9 nurturing needs, then it puts you in a position of power, not in a position of being wrong and bad. If you're your greatest limitation, you're also your greatest potential, because you can shift your choices from survival child choices to empowered, nurturing adult choices. And you can transform and make yourself so much more available for connection, for sharing yourself, for getting in touch with what matters to you most, what you're interested in, what your priorities are, and how to invest in those with less fear, shame, and judgment. We must realize we are way more in charge of the potential than we realize, because we got frozen as a child and we weren't empowered. Mommy and daddy held all the power. So we have been left in the myth that I have to please somebody or I have to prove myself and I'm dependent on what somebody else does. And no, we're not. As adults, all that potential, when there's clear education and tools, all of that potential is actually right here at our fingertips. It's great news.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it occurs to me that the 9 nurturing needs can almost be like a diagnostic of for a coach to share with a client the ways in which maybe they're getting in their own way. What are the ways in which they're not acknowledging themselves? What are the ways in which they're not accepting their situation in themselves and others? What are the ways in which they're not compassionate? That's just, I don't know. How does that resonate with you?
It is for sure a measuring stick. And when you said accepting where you are, please hear me. Accepting where you are does not equal I don't proactively respond and transform and help the situation. But I have to first accept that I have this issue. Then I have to seek the tools, the guidance, and the education so that you can proactively then respond and improve every single situation, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, relationship, health, it doesn't matter. All of them can be helped. So acceptance is only a starting place. So yes, these can be measuring sticks. How safe do I feel? How connected am I to my own body? What a huge measuring stick. The breath alone that we did earlier gives you a measuring stick. And so once you begin to connect to self, that's when the real opportunity for transformation and taking it to more and more layers can take place.
You know,